edition of It's Just Me, of course, hosted by Brent Fox. Tonight, I am going to try to keep it short and sweet. Reason being is I am working a double shift and I need to really be able to rest up for it. So, first things first, if you have not received your straight drop, compliments of one Black Fight fan and CC Reacts, don't miss out. All right. I am very, very excited uh, to try it, and we'll see what actually happens. I'll try to do maybe a progress or an update on, on the results from the straight drop. Now, on to the reason that I'm actually on here. I am going to do a quick breakdown of the Tank Davis versus Frank Martin fight. Um, excuse me. So, of course, everybody's talking about the flinch from Frank Martin at the press conference for the Tank Davis and Frank Martin fight. To be quite honest with you, I'm not really subscribing or buying into the fact that he flinched at all. He was supposed to, okay? Um, hey, Coach 67 Sports TV. Hey, man. Salute, brother. Thank you for jumping on here. I appreciate the support. Thank you, brother. Um, but yeah, I think that the flinch is fine. Okay. I just think the timing or the reaction time from the flinch is actually what concerns me. And the reason for that is if Tank quickly jumps in like that, um, I would like Frank to be able to time Tank a little bit better and actually catch him off guard. That's actually how most knockouts will happen. You have a guy that feels aggressive or overconfident, like Tank is, and he'll make a move very quickly, but it's up to you to be able to time that properly and then knock him out. Again, there's nothing wrong with actually having to flinch or move from someone that's advancing on you. As a matter of fact, as a boxer or any type of fighter, you're trained to react to movement. So that part doesn't bother me at all. Um, I just want I just want the reflexes to be a little bit sharper when he actually goes in there to fight Tank. Now, granted, the jump was actually unexpected, but again, in fights, people do things that are unexpected, and you have to be able to react properly in order to still, go with your game plan and maintain victory. So, yeah, they are, man. They are, coach. And again, it's like the general basically said this morning, like you're trained to fight, so you basically have to be able to react to movement. I just wanted him to react to the movement a little bit better. Like, and it's easy to play armchair quarterback, but if I think with Tank, you have to be able to kind of stand up to the bully. Um, if you have an equal or a more aggressive reaction towards something like that, I think it catches them off guard. As a matter of fact, I think that Frank um, if Frank were to do something like quickly pop him with a jab or something like that, I think that they would have probably mentally messed up Tank. So much so that he'd probably be hesitant to do a whole bunch of stuff that he feels like he's capable of doing. And then Frank may be able to outwork him because Tank, like his brother Adrian Broner, can sometimes be very inactive and just kind of sit around and wait for something to happen and try to take advantage of an opportunity. Um, but so far, I mean, that's worked for him. Now, um, getting on to the actual breakdown of the fight. What I will mention is that, of course, advantages such as speed and power, unfortunately, are going to go to Tank. I think that Frank's punch placement under the tutelage of Derek James, and hopefully his timing will kind of help counteract that. Um, Timing will always beat speed if used properly. But what I'm looking for in this particular fight, and I'll start off with from Frank Martin. If Frank is able to again just try and keep Tank at the edge of his jab and also be able to utilize his turning like he usually does, then it could actually frustrate Tank Davis. Both of them being southpaws, what Tank could possibly run into is a strong right hook, straight left combination. Frank also has some pretty decent left hands, like a nice straight left hand. He also has a nice left hook that people don't really pay attention to. I'm hoping that he actually I'm hoping that he actually has improved on his uppercut. I think that it's underutilized in his fight game, but I think that it could be a major factor if he is able to effectively time Tank and catch him off guard. So we'll look for that um, in that particular fight. I also think that if Frank actually slows things down early, and frustrates Tank, that would involve clinching. That would actually involve using lateral movement and timing to evade punches and frustrate Tank when he decides that he wants to attack. Um, I think that all of those things could actually mess up Tank mentally, and then you can actually implement what you want to do after that. Um, Now, what I will actually say is a lot of people, um, yeah, yeah, and again, it goes back to that bully theory, Coach 67. It if um if if the bully is actually non-effective, then he loses his sense of power. Then he does desperate things like lunging in to try to do something or completely just kind of going wild. I think that if Frank just kind of keeps it mentally together and is able to maybe weather the storm, because I do think that Tank may try and be a bit aggressive because of the whole, oh yeah, I made him nervous and all of that. I think that Tank is probably going to take some not so intelligent risks, is what I would say, because he is overconfident in this fight. Oh, hey. What's up, Dr. Mark? Man, thank you for coming in. I appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much. All right. Now, thank you so much. That means a lot. Now, I think that if Frank is actually able to frustrate Tank early and actually disturb him mentally, then he has a very good chance of winning. Now, Frank is probably going to wind up winning on points because Tank is actually a very durable fighter. But what I was thinking about was this: there were some sparring sessions, including the Devin Haney session, in which Tank actually quit. So if you're able to actually frustrate someone like that, then he's of course not just going to walk out of the ring in the middle of a fight, but I do think that there is a situation to where he can like mentally shut down. Frank just has to be able to turn Tank like he usually does, use punch placement, catch him at good angles, and clinch when necessary to frustrate Tank. And then I think that actually it'll be a long night for Mr. Davis. Um, Now, what I will say is this: um, Frank has to actually be very, very wary of Tank's lateral movement and his ability to be explosive. Again, that's where the timing comes in, and hopefully he has studied Tank's body position when he gets ready to start unleashing combinations. Tank likes to squat and then explode into his punches. So if Frank is able to kind of recognize that and then have a counter plan to kind of keep Tank at bay, then I think that he has a great chance of possibly winning the fight and pulling off a really huge upset. Now, what I will say as far as Mr. Davis, or Gervonta Tank Davis's advantages, of course, are speed and power. Um, Unfortunately, for Frank Martin, body shots are an issue. So if Frank is actually sustaining punches to the body, it may be a shorter night than anticipated. And then, of course, you have to make sure that you do not let Tank get inside. Now, if Tank actually gets inside and is able to get some punches off towards the body, and then he has a very brutal array of punches. One of which is a strong uppercut from either hand. It could be a right hand. It could also be a devastating left hand as well, since he's a southpaw. Now, again, if Tank is actually able to literally beat Frank to the punch and kind of sets the tone and establishes dominance very early, then that could mentally affect Frank Martin. And then the talk of him not being able to do anything with Tank, or not being able um, to or not being able to kind of be on the same level as Tank, will probably mentally sink in. Um, oh, okay, I see what you're saying, Coach. Um, yeah, it is just sparring, but I think, to be quite honest with you, Tank is doing excuse me, in that sparring session, what he's doing now, which is underestimating Frank. So I think that now that there's something actually on the line, like, he doesn't want to get embarrassed in front of everybody, or his O might wind up having to go. I think that he's probably going to be a little bit more focused. But I'm going to get into that as far as like the fight prediction. Um, but yeah, if Tank is able to use his quickness and his explosiveness, that could spell pretty big problems for Frank. Now, as far as being able to kind of get inside, Tank is very good at being able to slip punches and then get in and do some major damage. So I would probably look for that. I think that Tank is actually going to look and analyze and see what Frank actually does and what he does not like. And then I think that he thinks that he's probably going to be in there, um, set something up and then properly get Frank out of there. That is what I think Tank is planning to do. He's just going to kind of study him for the first few rounds, um, and then he may actually wind up trying something and then trying to get Frank out. I think that, unfortunately, if Tank has early success to the body, then he may be able to hurt Frank and get Frank out of there. And again, Tank has a whole arsenal of punches that he could actually throw to make that happen. He has very good hooks. He has, again, devastating uppercuts. Um, he even throws his jab pretty well from time to time when he decides that he wants to throw it effectively. Um, so it's kind of like Tyson-esque. He'll get in there. He's able to slip and then roll punches very, very well because of his stature. And once he's actually inside, it is going to usually end in some sort of spectacular knockout. Now, moving on to my actual prediction for the fight. Now, the last time I did like a 20 by 20 series, it was for Wilder versus Big Bang Zhang. I went with my heart and I chose Wilder, thinking that Zhang was probably slow enough and awkward enough to get caught by the right hand, and Wilder probably knocks him out. In this case, I am going to think logically, and although I do want Frank to actually win, unfortunately, I'm going to have to go with Tank Davis officially. I think that it may wind up being a stoppage. I think that it'll probably be in the seventh or eighth round, and but I think that Frank, excuse me, shows a valiant effort while it lasts. But I think, unfortunately, um, Tank is very explosive and more dangerously, Tank is very calculating. Because of that, I am probably going to have to go in the direction of Tank Davis via stoppage in the seventh or eighth round. Now, that is not me being disrespectful towards Frank, Earl, or any of the fans, and that includes the Queens of Boxing Talk. As a result, I have to be able to be objective in this one and, just give basically an objective look at it. I think that Frank does or will probably have some success as far as just trying to keep Tank at bay for a while. But unfortunately, I think that Tank is very calculating. And what that basically means is that he's going to figure out what he needs to do. And then he's just going to unfortunately execute it. And it would probably make Frank look like another opponent, which I hate. But I think that Frank would probably be able to rebound, and then he could turn around and probably beat somebody like a Vasil Lomachenko to get a belt. But unfortunately, I think Tank has too many weapons in the arsenal, um, and I don't think that Frank would be able to overcome that. Now, um, what I will do then is, having said that, I'll just go ahead and close out. And I thank you all for tuning in to It's Just Me, hosted by Brent Fox. And look for a breakdown of David Benavidez and Gotzik. I think on Saturday morning, if I'm able to do it. Thank you all again for tuning in. And I'll do another advertising for Straight Job Weight Loss Formula. Y'all, please get it.